It is the day after tax season. I just got home from an amazing event at the Bellarmine University, right? My alma mater. We had a mentoring event this evening, and I have someone who's assigned my mentee, and I also had the opportunity to talk to another mentee tonight. Not assigned to me, but I've kind of adopted him. Now, if he watches this or his mentor, nothing wrong with his mentor. He's just involved in digital marketing, and I was running some ideas by him because he has his own business as an entrepreneur, which was really, really cool. But I wasn't sure if I was going to get on here tonight, and that's why I didn't give you guys a little bit more notice. And I only gave you what, 15, 18 minutes. But they inspired me during that conversation, and it made me think about the email that I sent to my email list this morning. And also, it made me think about the social media post that I had scheduled for this morning as well. So, I wanted to check in with the members of the community here on YouTube to see how are you doing after tax season? Did it beat you up? Did you survive? If this was your first season, congratulations. Way to make it through. I know a lot of people, well, no, a lot of people, I had a nice mix of people tell me, this was their first season. So they did allow some taxpayers to come in late. They were burning midnight oil last night, trying to get those rush returns done. Then I had a nice mix of people tell me, half of the folks we're serving this year, a little uneven, half the folks that we're serving this year, we went ahead and we filed extensions. So we felt good ending the 4/15 deadline. We'll get those other people when October gets here. Here in Kentucky, because remember, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, we had some unprecedented flooding during February. And because of that, the IRS actually took the whole state, right? Well, FEMA, and declared it a site of a natural disaster. So in Louisville, Kentucky, and like I said, the whole state, not just Louisville, I just happen to be in Louisville, we have until November 3rd to get tax returns for 2024 filed and to get balances paid. So that was nice because we got an extension not only to file, but also to get the balance paid. Um, Q1 estimated tax payments also got pushed back. So we got a little bit of wiggle room here in Kentucky. But with that being said, some life happened during March. So I ended up taking my time off in March and still working in April. But it all worked out. I survived. I'm standing. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I went to my alma mater this evening, had a wonderful conversation with two students, one non traditional, one traditional student, and they're both entrepreneurs, right? And one is looking for a job within HR, and the other one is actually he's about to start the MBA program, but he's also working in the digital marketing space, which is phenomenal in this day and time right now, right? Because with the economy shifting the way it is and people losing their jobs, we are going to see a lot more people who are unemployed or who are taking the plunge to actually start their own consulting gig or freelancing, just whatever their hands find to do that can make income for them, right? So he's in an opportunity where he can help a lot of people and make money doing it. And that is what inspired me to get on tonight. For those of you just getting on, I see I went from 4 to 10 to 7. So if you're on live right now, drop down in the comments, say what's up, let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from. And I want to talk about tax season, post tax season, and I'm gonna get out of here because I didn't get to spend time with my family last night. So I'm gonna go watch a little TV with them, make sure I get in bed on time. So I see Hannah 8 Ball says, God loves you. Thank you. Yes, he does. He says, you I'm sorry. She said, "You are so pretty. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Hannah, I appreciate it. Um, I appreciate your kind words. Thank you. Cake Financial, Karina O'Connor's in the building. Hey, hey, hey. So, other than assignment number one, you're supposed to be dropping down in the comments, letting me know who you are, where you're tuning in from. My question to you is, did tax season beat you up? So, if you are a tax professional, so you can be an enrolled agent, CPA, tax attorney who does tax returns, maybe you're not credentialed, maybe you're a bookkeeper. How did this tax season and all of the kind of chaos affect you? Within your practice or where you work, did you feel the effects of the reduction in force? And if you're not familiar with what RIF or reduction in force is, it's just a fancy term for layoffs, right? So as soon as we had the current administration take over, they came out the gate swinging, right? We saw a lot of different government agencies being cut almost immediately, the IRS being one of them. First, they said there was going to be a reduction in force with the IRS. Then they said, okay, it's going to be after tax season. Literally the next week, we had people being laid off, right? Or they had the option to opt into, can't think of what it's called right now, but where they retired early. Either way, maybe they're going to have pay until September. They have to start making plans to do something else. The interesting thing is, it wasn't just folks who are in enforcement, right? So it's not just people who are auditors, it's not just people who go out and levy taxpayers. Some of these people who lost their positions are also those who worked in offices that assisted taxpayers. So if we have someone who's low income, they too have the right to tax representation. They could contact an office or a taxpayer advocate office and they could get help from somebody who worked within the IRS to get their IRS issue resolved. Well, I want to say it was February. We lost 70. Charge my head, not my heart. I think it was, I want to say 70 of those offices closed, three right here in Kentucky where I'm at. So we have people who have the problems that we say are way complicated that I work with in my office and Bowen's Tax Solutions. I work with the folks who owe six figures or more, right? But then we have people who have a restricted limited income who need that tax refund, right? Or they have a tax issue where maybe there's something not being communicated right in the system and it looks like they owe, even though they really don't, and now their Social Security is about to get levied. Those people can't always afford representation, but now a barrier has been created where they can't get the help that they need because of the reduction in force, right? Now, I know we're just rolling off a tax season, so you may not be aware that the IRS is actually looking to reduce its staff by another 25%, 20 to 25%. What will that look like? That will look like roughly 20,000 more people leaving the IRS. Now, everybody's not going to all walk out the door at one time, right? However, between now and I believe September, we're going to see those people actually leaving. So, for those of us, even if you're not in the representation space, who reach out and advocate on behalf of our clients, which is representation, you probably just aren't charging for it. They're going to feel that. The clients, we're going to feel it, right? I'll give you an example. Today, yes, I work today, April 16th. I'm working with a client. They just brought me on because they were levied in February over six figures. Now, I want you to imagine that. That's a huge problem, right? So, in my firm, The taxpayer owes six figures or more. This person woke up to six figures being gone. Since that time in February, they've brought me on because they had been reaching out about their balance. Then their account case was passed to a revenue officer. If you're not aware, when a case has been assigned to a revenue officer, you can't call ACS, the automated collections, right? You have to have your communication with the revenue officer. Their case keeps getting kicked down the can. So when I come on, have to call ACS to try to figure out who's assigned to this case, it's not the person that the client initially spoke to in February. I can't talk to ACS about it. Then the IRS person that I spoke with in ACS didn't give me a name. They just gave me a phone number, which, by the way, disconnected on me, a fax number, and a revenue agent assignment number. So we have this situation where, filthy rich or not, you don't want to wake up to six figures being taken out of your bank account, right? Where typically I could get in touch with the revenue officer, and I'm making that sound a little bit easier than it is, but I could reach out to that revenue officer, say, here's my 2848. What do you need from us to get this levy removed? The taxpayer is not denying that they owe anything. They say, and I'm taking their word for it, that they've been reaching out for over a year, but there's a clerical error in the system where their address wasn't updated from way back when they closed their office during COVID. So something very simple like an address change not being updated in the system, now we have a reduction in force. So it's not easy to get a hold of a person to make sure that that's actually been done. Makes it harder for the taxpayer, creates a greater need for enrolled agents, CPAs, tax attorneys to advocate on their behalf. Now, you may be thinking like, oh, Tim Lynn, they just need to do an 8822B, update the address. Guess what? They have a couple of times. They received confirmation that the address was updated. So now we're just in this cycle, something that could be resolved probably within a 90-minute phone call, right? By the time we get the address updated, get the 433B and all that. But it keeps getting kicked down the can. So that's something where a small mistake, like the address, can turn into something huge. Let me go back through here because you guys are talking. I'm not used to doing this on my phone, right? I'm usually on the computer. So Karina said a smidge. I think because of studying and trying to balance, the layoff affected my client directly because the RO on the case was laid off. I have experienced that as well, Karina. Hi, Brad. Brad Messner says, hey, Timlin, hope the season ended well for you. Brad, it was okay. Life was kind of lifing, so I had to actually work in April, which I haven't done in a few years, but it was all right. I can't remember if you are doing actual tax prep work, but if you are, I hope the season also went well for you and that this semester is going well. So Notary World says, is it still worth it to become an EA since the government is changing, IRS hiring, and trying to eradicate the IRS altogether? Notary World, I can't remember who you are, but realistically, the IRS isn't going anywhere, right? Just because the IRS staff is getting smaller, IRS problems aren't going away. I'm not sure when you tuned in, but if you heard me talking about the issue where a client I'm working with right now, we're just kind of going in circles because I need to be able to talk to somebody to get the issue resolved. I would most definitely say the time right now calls for more enrolled agents because the need for representation, it's going to be outstanding. And people ask me, even before I did the mentorship group, right? Why do I do videos like this helping other EAs? One, when I was in school as an accounting major, I wish I would have known about the opportunity to become an EA. Now, granted, I got to work at a big CPA firm. So grateful for the experience, the mentorship that I have within the firm. But I want to let everybody know that it's available. Number two, for me, if you listen to the podcast, you know I am passionate about filling the tax literacy gap. People don't know what they don't know, and that is usually why they end up in trouble, right? So I want to let more people know about the designation, and I want more tax professionals to become EAs, because even if I wanted to make $1 billion, I could not help every taxpayer everywhere. Taxpayers need you as an enrolled agent, as a CPA, as a tax attorney to step in the gap on their behalf to do the representation. Now, with that being said, with the reduction in force at the IRS, is our job going to be easy? The technical part of it will, you know, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
say it's difficult. If you can fill out a tax form, you most definitely can fill out a 433B. You can give that information on the phone for payroll cases. Yeah, the technical part, no. Is it going to take more patience? Is it going to require more time? Absolutely. But I get more fulfillment from doing representation work than I do tax prep, depending. I do really, really, really like to work with people in their 70s and 80s. And I think for me, that's just because I was really close with my grandparents. So, me remembering them in their 70s and 80s. But the moment to remember, because I like to teach, the moment when a taxpayer who's in their 60s or 70s tells me that I'm very thorough, they've never had anybody go over their tax return like that, that is fulfilling for me. So I know you guys didn't ask that, but that tidbit was just for free.
Mm-hmm.
The next part of what I wanted to say, though, as I'm talking about, what Notary World asked, right now is the best time to become an enrolled agent if you plan on doing representation work, right? Because the taxpayer needs us. So I sent an email out to my email list today, this morning. It was scheduled, so it was this morning. But I wanted to check in, to say, hey, how are you guys doing? But don't give up yet, right? Typically, within a few weeks, we would see notices and stuff coming out. Again, with this reduction in force, what is that going to look like? We are going to have less people processing responses to notices. We are going to have less people available to answer the phone. Taxpayers, even if they could do it themselves, are not going to want to, simply because of the inconvenience of dealing with the IRS. That's why they need you. That's why they need me. Now, three ways to prepare yourself for this. One, if you are out here doing any type of marketing or branding, I need you to be clear in your messaging. Okay. I met other tax professionals and they say they do representation work. However, if I go look at their website, which is a digital footprint, right? That's your digital front door. If I go look at, let's say they're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, on Monday they're talking about hairstylists, on Tuesday they're talking about truckers, on Wednesday they're talking about EIC. There's nothing of value when it comes to representation and that they do the work of tax representation. If you are like that, you can still correct it, but that's why you are not being sought after as a tax expert who can handle IRS issues, because nobody knows who you're talking to due to you not being clear in your messaging. In your messaging, you need to call out the same person every time. I'll give you an example. In my firm in Bones Tax Solutions, I don't have a niche that's an industry per se, right? My niche is a mental mindset avatar. So when you see me talking to taxpayers about the problems that I solve, I say I work with first generation entrepreneurs who owe the IRS six figures or more, and I help them grow and scale their business by resolving their IRS issue for them. What I've done is looked at the clients I like to work with the best, looked at what their FAQs were, looked at the issues that they had, and I've created content to speak to that person over and over and over again, right? So when I put that out there, the same people are going to show up because they know that I talk to them. You can go back through my content from 2 years ago. I'm talking to the same people. I've showed up consistently. The energy that you have has to be consistent as well. And sorry, I've skipped into number two. So, number one was be clear in your messaging. Number two is be consistent. Like I said, you can want to help everybody and end up helping nobody. So I do understand where you're like, oh my goodness, they have this problem. I have to help them. You are growing a business. So you have to stay focused, right? You can't do the hairstylist, trucker, uh, talk about EIC. Now, nothing is wrong with those independent of each other, right? That's not what I'm saying. If you want to specialize in doing the EIC returns, go ahead. You be the EIC expert. But you can't go to a room filled with people, right? And yell everybody's name at once. Nobody will understand what you're saying. And people who do look at you talking are going to be like, what are you talking about? However, if you go into a room filled with people and you were to say enrolled agents, everybody that's an enrolled agent, right, will dream of the day that a room is filled with enrolled agents. It's not a conference. Everybody will look that it applies to. So when you're clear in your marketing and then you're consistent in where you show up, when you show up, and how you show up, you build that know, like, and trust. When I start building a community of tax professionals, I showed up every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on LinkedIn and Facebook. What happened? Enrolled agents came because they knew that I was sharing tips for how to build an EA firm. Why? Because yes, I have an accounting degree, but when I decided to start my own EA firm, I couldn't find information on that. I literally just wanted people to have what I didn't have, right? And the path to becoming an EA is just so vast. There are so many different paths that you can take. And I wanted people to understand that and know, like, hey, your story doesn't have to look like mine, but you can still do this too. Okay? One, we're clear in our messaging. Two, we're consistent. How we show up, where we show up, the energy, everything the same. Last but not least, you need to make it easy for prospects to find you and book a call with you. I'll see people post, say what they do, go to a networking event, talk, but then they don't give people any type of way to contact them. Think about this. If you were to go on a date with somebody, the date goes very well, right? And you would like to go on a second date with this person. But then at the end of the date, the person doesn't give you their phone number, they don't give you an email address, they don't give you anything. As much as you like that person, it doesn't matter. You can't go on a second date as much as you'd like to because you can't get a hold of them. It's the same way with your business. A lot of you all are putting out so much effort to market You're going to these networking events, but you're not exchanging contact information with anybody. You're posting online. People like you, they want to work with you, but you don't tell them how to work with you. You don't give them a website, you don't give them an email address, you don't tell them what to do. Think about it. I use this example in a marketing class I did. Some people are like, okay, I can't post every day. Okay, you have to get your marketing muscle strengthened, right? If I go downstairs, because I was working last night, so I didn't get to watch it, me and my husband, we watched The Rookie together. Okay? So it's not going to be live, it's going to be on Hulu. Probably going to go watch it when I get done talking to you all. I will see a Liberty car commercial or a Liberty insurance commercial every single commercial break. You know what? Liberty's not like, oh no, we can't put it in another slot because people will be tired of it. No, they get it in front of me as much as they can, and in every single commercial, they give me a website and a phone number so I know how to reach them to get my quote. When you are telling people, hey, if you have this problem, I can solve it, you need to make sure you are also telling them how to get in touch with you so that you can solve it. Okay? That's a big drop where I see people who may have an amazing post, an amazing video, amazing article. They don't tell people how to connect with them, how to join their email list, how to book a call. You have to make sure you don't leave that part out. All right. So, Notary World, you are welcome. Chris says just let AI fill out the tax forms. Debatable. I'm not on the AI side with that. I know that may be unpopular opinion. Guess is 100. So, just to reiterate, to put yourself in position to help these taxpayers who do need you to step in as an advocate for them, whether it is filing back tax returns, setting up a payment arrangement, protecting them from a levy, getting a levy removed, getting a lien removed. They have to know that you are the expert and you solve the problem. So, one, you need to be clear in your messaging, who you help, how you help. Two, be consistent. If you are going to make an amazing post every Wednesday, be faithful to that amazing post every Wednesday. If you say you're going to go live every Tuesday at 11, don't do that time because that's my time and we're getting ready to start back up. But honor the commitment that you've made, right? So that your people know if they need you, they can find you. Be consistent in the energy you give. If I got on here like this, just kind of whatever, you guys would not stick around and watch this. People would not watch this replay later, right? But you can tell that I'm passionate about what I do with educating EAs or whether I'm educating taxpayers, right? So, two, be consistent. Number three, don't be hard to find. You can put out amazing information, but you have to make sure that you let people know how to get in touch with you. Again, like I said, prime example, no joke. I know my husband did not watch The Rookie last night because I was still working. So as soon as I get off this, I guarantee you, I'm going to go downstairs and he's going to say, hey, you want to watch The Rookie? I'm going to pull it up on Hulu. And that Liberty insurance commercial is literally going to be in every commercial break. And guess what? They're not bashful and worried about if you think it's too much. Every time you can get in front of your ideal audience, you need to get in front of your ideal audience. Every time you can leave that call to action, and don't be subtle and shy about it because closed mouths don't get fed, right? That's part of marketing. Every time that commercial comes up, I'm going to have a website, and I'm going to have a phone number. So every time you have a post, you need to tell them some way to connect with you. Anything subtle should be join my email list. If you want to go all in for it, hey, my name is Timlin Mullins. I'm America's favorite EA. If you're having a tax problem, you need to book a call with me right now at bowenstaxsolutions.com. Right? Direct, right there, ask for it. Because if you don't tell them how to reach you, they won't. If you can't be confident in asking for the sale, how are they going to trust you to be confident to handle their IRS issue? Right? So, those are the three tidbits that I have for you tonight. Ike says 100. La Sharika, hello. Hey, hey, hey. That's all I have for you all. No, it's not. I lied. I lied. Look in the description because, just like you guys always do, I know the three steps that I shared. It hit home with some of you guys, right? And I know that some of you all are thinking, when Timlin says it, it sounds easy, but what about this? What about that? What about that? This coming Tuesday, so April 22nd, from 6 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern, I am hosting a post tax season marketing class. Okay? Now, I can't see it at the moment, but I don't want to mess this up. Yeah, I'm leaving it alone. In the description, I have left the link for the class. All right. So if you know, hey, I have trouble with my messaging. Hey, I know I'm not consistent. And you also you also know that you are not easy to reach. You, friend, need to be in the marketing class, okay? Because I want to talk about what true marketing is. It's not just throwing stuff out on social media, hoping that it sticks or resonates, or getting a lot of likes, right? Who cares about the vanity likes if it's not converting to clients? We're going to cover what true marketing is. One is the loneliest number when it comes to marketing. So, we're going to talk about different marketing strategies that you can put together. Now, if I go over 5 strategies, you don't need to implement all 5. You still need to focus. But there are some that you can couple and pair together so you can find the best mix that works for you. If you notice, I do content marketing, right? To get you in my funnel. But then I also have a podcast, I have a blog. We're still looking at content marketing, but I've also positioned myself to do authority marketing. I use this as an example of somebody today. If you go, and it works in Louisville, I don't know where you all are at. If you go to Google, type in enrolled agent. Once you get past the sponsored post, I am probably the first video that you are going to see, right? Because I placed myself in a position of authority online, and it's not a sponsored post. We're going to talk about how you do that as well. Speaking engagements, get outside. But I think my favorite part of it is when you leave, you're going to also be leaving with the skeleton of a 12-week marketing schedule, right? So, with it being the skeleton, you will have to fill some stuff in, right? You got to do some work. But you will have a sample schedule for how you can work on your marketing throughout the week, in addition to having some prompts. And I use prompts instead of fill in the blanks because I can give all of you guys on here the same prompt, but the way that I have it, the content is going to come out different and be customized to you and call out who you need to talk to. All right. So, in the description, you can sign up for the class, or you can go to americasfavoritea.com, go to live classes, and you will see it there. If you guys have any questions, I know there's a little lag, drop them in the comments. I'll come back and check them out later, or you can go to americasfavoritea.com and contact me there. If that's all minds clear, I am going to hop off and spend some time with my family now that they're home. Mm-hmm. But I hope that you all have a fantabulous evening. Thank you so much for hopping on with me. I'm glad to see you all survive tax season. I'll see you later.